Did you ever ask yourself, what would happen if I moved to another place, to another country? What would happen if I could live in paradise? That's the question I want to explore in today's video, because I started that exact same experiment a couple of years ago when I changed my whole life, 180 degrees shift of everything, and left my old life in Berlin, Germany, and then moved to Costa Rica, into the jungle, into the nature, close to the beach, which is a complete change in many different levels. And my question was, okay, so am I happier if I move to what I had in mind to call my paradise? And I think there are a couple of questions to explore here. The first question would be, of course you gotta know what is your paradise, and that might look different and that might change. For me, for example, I grew up in a very small town, so my paradise or my dream at the beginning was to move into a big city. And that's what I did. I moved to London in the UK, I moved to Berlin, Germany, two big international cities. I've been traveling, exploring other options too. I went to New York City and LA and different kind of places, and even much more crazy big cities in Asia, just to experience how it feels. And I lived in Brazil for a couple months, in Rio de Janeiro. So really big cities and different countries, different climates, different cultures, and I loved it at that time. And then came the change where I got to know myself more and more, and my life changed, and I think I got more to the core of my being, so to speak, and more to the core of what really is a great environment for me to thrive and to live and to enjoy my life and to be creative and to create things. It's like an all-around mix of, work-life balance, so to speak. That's the easy thing to say. That's one reason why I moved from London to Berlin, and that's another reason why I moved from Berlin to Costa Rica. And so that's the number one question you ask yourself: what is your paradise? And also acknowledge that this may change. And so the second question here, I'm here now in paradise, what many people would call paradise, what's like a postcard-like holiday, a glossy catalog destination, with a beautiful ocean and beaches and jungle and palms and nature. And so the question, did that automatically make me more happy like this immediately? Which I have to say, no, it didn't. It's not so easy to answer though, because it has a multiple facets to it. Whereas, for example, you have pros and cons everywhere we go, right? So that's part of finding out what your paradise is. I had to travel quite a lot. I got to travel quite a lot throughout the country, seeing different places and different communities and different vibes. And I ended up being here. I almost left the country because I thought, okay, we're not forget about it. I don't find my place here. I don't have what I need. I don't have the infrastructure. But eventually I was called to this place, to the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. And that's where I found my home. And still here, it is not perfect. And I think it will never be perfect. Nowhere. I don't think I don't think I should embark on the journey of finding the perfect place, because it simply doesn't exist. And I learned about that, and there are a couple of reasons why I think that is. I'm going to share that a little bit later in the video. So first of all, you have the pros and cons, and I would say, because people ask me all the time, and I would definitely say Costa Rica is not for everyone, and even moving away from your hometown might not be for everyone. And I know some people that are still in my hometown where I grew up, in a small town, and they married and they bought a house and they're on this like traditional journey and they're happy, and I think it's totally fine. It's great. I think one thing though that might be a good invitation for everyone is just to allow ourselves more to explore and to expand our horizon and to travel and to watch documentaries and just to get some more ideas about different cultures and different lifestyles, so we can actually be more open about possibilities of maybe there is a better place for us. Maybe there's a place that feels more aligned to us, where we can thrive more and live more happy and more fulfilled. It's just the openness. And I know that can be a big barrier too, for many people to say, I can't, I have my family and friends and work and all the different reasons and, excuses to don't do it. I understand it's a big thing. There can be many barriers, which also were there for me, but I did it anyway, which is another story, much longer story for another video. But just to say that okay, allow yourself maybe just to be more open and just ask the question, okay, what if, what if that would be possible? What if I could live anywhere? Would I at all even think about it? Would I maybe want to do it? Maybe not. Just ask yourself the question. And to come back to the initial question, okay, will it make you more happy to move to paradise? I think some parts, yes. Because let's say your paradise would actually be an environment with like beach and palm trees and beautiful ocean and, warm weather all year round and sunny. Then that part will make you more happy, obviously, to be in that kind of climate or that kind of destination. And at the same time, yeah, there might be, like for me in Costa Rica, there are many pros and cons. There's some things are much more challenging here. And, some parts of the culture, some parts of, it's a smaller place, some parts of this infrastructure, availability of things, sometimes even like considering like power and water and internet and all these kind of things. There are many things that are more challenging here, and you get to learn and adapt and adjust. And there are some other things that are easier here. The nature really holding us here. Like it's much more comfortable all year round. The vibes, the culture, and so of course you have some pros and cons. But overall, I would say the most important thing and the most important takeaway is that your real home is here. Your real home is within you, and wherever you go, you bring yourself. Wherever you go, it can be New York City, it can be LA, it can be Costa Rica, it can be Antarctica, it can be an iceberg. Wherever you go, you bring yourself. And you can leave your stuff, like your physical things. You can leave your car and your house, and you can even leave people and relationships. And you can leave your clothes and all these things, but you still bring yourself. And you bring all your past experiences, and you bring your beliefs, you bring your personality, you bring your skills and your mindset and all these things. And so that's where the new place comes in. And you might know that even when you move, let's say, within your country to another city or something, it can be helpful to be in a new environment as a catalyst for change. So you can actually build new routines, build new habits, have new circles, new social circles. It can help you to become a new person, or change your personality, embrace, like if you want to change yourself, embrace that more. It can make it much more easier if you move somewhere. Just as the fact of dynamic, new chapter, blank canvas and all that. And at the same time, yes, you bring yourself, and all that is you. And that's a beautiful thing, and it can also be a challenging thing, because you cannot really run away from, things you might like to run away from, because you bring them with you. Even though the physical things you leave there, but it's still here, it's still in your heart, it's still in your soul, it's still in your body, it's still you. So that's a super important thing, because if you know that consciously, and that's what I found out too for myself. I got to know that for myself eventually at some point. And I was like, okay, wherever I go, I will still have this and this and this and this, and I got to work on it, or, deal with it, just be with it, So that's one thing. If you think about moving somewhere, or if you ask yourself the question, is there a paradise in the world where I could live a more happy life? There might be. At the same time, it's really good that you do it consciously and know that, okay, I'm gonna bring myself anywhere. And before I find home in the physical world, I gotta find home here. Gotta find home in myself. And then from there, knowing that I can make a much better decision of looking for a new place, looking for a new home, looking for my paradise, and finding it, and actually seeing where it is, because then you can also be at a place and still feel some challenges and some things, and it's not all perfect, but okay, wow, that already feels much better than where I used to live. And I know that probably my paradise will still have challenges, and my paradise, I will not necessarily be just like this, like happy every day. I gotta adapt and gotta adjust and find my way through the new flow and the new cultures. One important thing I want to share is that one thing I learned, one of the major challenges for me, was that I actually had to learn how to be with this new lifestyle, and how to adjust and adapt so I can actually be happy in paradise. Because I was still coming from this like big city life and like hustle culture, and working a lot and working way too much probably, and not really having my work-life balance. I had to learn to have more time off and have learn to live a slower, quote-unquote slower, more relaxed Caribbean vibe like lifestyle, and really allow myself that, you know. And then instead of still, you know, every morning waking up, starting work, sitting in front of my computer, sometimes allow myself to go out to the beach, you know. And it sounds strange maybe for some of you, but for some of you maybe it resonates, because if you have lived for years and years such a life of, you know, city life, transport, work, it's just really ingrained. That's what I had ingrained in my body, in my system. So I really had to readjust to the culture here and the vibes here, and to really be able to actually enjoy the paradise and enjoy the nature and enjoy the beach and the weather and live this more, you know, relaxed, flowy, slow-paced life. So that was one of the most important things for me here to do. And that's what I mean. It's easy to say, you know, you go to paradise and then you're like, oh, actually no, I don't really feel more happier. So sometimes there's some of the steps you gotta do, some of the steps I had to do to be actually able to really enjoy the paradise. Change myself first. And this is what I mean. I could have moved on to Hawaii and, you know, Puerto Rico, whatever other countries, you know, Guatemala, South America, like Brazil, whatever, or even any beautiful place that's similar to here with paradise kind of nature, like warm climate, and I would have the same thing, you know. So I know it's okay. Wow, I actually have to readjust myself, my system, you know, to be able to, you know, come more down and embrace this lifestyle more. And that takes some time, and also takes some consciousness and some willingness to do that. So that's one last thing. That was one last thing to share. So yeah, I'm curious to hear from you. Maybe you have had experience like that, where you moved to another country, or you decided not to, whatever it is, or you're thinking about it. So I'm super curious of your thoughts and reflections about this video, and I might expand it in another video, because there's so much more to talk about. And by the way, if you like any support, any help for your possibly big life transition, if you feel there's something you gotta change, if you feel you are like stepping into a big life transition possibly, and you wonder about some guidance for direction and some experience, some advice, some encouragement, I do help people in these big life transitions from experience. I do coaching, I do one-on-one coaching, for example, to really guide you through your challenges, guide you into finding the truth for yourself, the truth about the exact question, you know, what's your paradise, what's the ideal environment for you to thrive, and all these kind of other questions that come up when you start exploring that topic. So reach out to me, super happy to get in touch and get to know you more and support you. Ciao.